came back into the market in a very big way.
What we know now is Wall Street can bring down Main Street.
People are seeing this, and those memories of fear are coming back.
When you have a 401k or a 403b, those kinds of accounts, they are incredibly susceptible to downturns.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 900 points. More than 900 points.
There are questions about how to best save for retirement.
Part of the problem is confusion.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
The first rule in investment is don't lose. And the second rule in investment is don't forget the first rule. And that's all the rules there are.
When the market goes up, you go up. When the market goes down, you don't go down. Save Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
Welcome to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Brad is a retirement and income specialist, primarily serving Springfield, but he's sought after nationally for his expertise in helping people secure their retirements. Mr. Pistole is a licensed life insurance professional in the states of Missouri, Arkansas, and Kansas, and he specializes in working with people who are near retirement and those who have already retired with wealth management, income planning, and asset protection strategies.
Save Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
And now, here to talk with you about securing your retirement, your host, Brad Pistole.
In January of 2022, I was blessed to attend a conference for 250 of the nation's top financial experts, and it was held in Denver, Colorado. Now, some of the speakers at this conference included world-renowned experts like Tom Hegna, National Social Security expert Heather Schreiber, and even Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning. But one of my favorite speakers was Dr. Wade Pfau from the American College of Financial Services. Dr. Pfau has been a guest on this show many times in recent years, and he's going to be our special guest again coming up soon, here in just a couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about something that I've never talked about on this show, and it's something that very few financial experts know anything about. Here's a little teaser for you. It involves tax-free lifetime income. Now, most people are aware of Roth IRAs, life insurance, and muni bonds as the main options for tax-free income, but that's not what we're going to be talking about. Dr. Pfau has written a best-selling book about this topic. He just released his 4th edition of this book in January of 2024, and I already have my signed copy. So make sure you subscribe to the Safe Money Radio podcast on YouTube, Apple, or Spotify so you never miss any of our episodes. This new interview with Dr. Wade Pfau will air near the end of February or in early March, and you don't want to miss it. Now back to the story. Back in January, I had the honor of introducing Dr. Pfau to the group of financial experts that were at the conference in Denver, and he spent his time talking about the different approaches that are being used today to secure the best retirement income for you and your family. There were a lot of great speakers that week, but I can tell you this. When Dr. Pfau started speaking, hands went up all over the room because the advisors had so many questions for him. So instead of the typical speech, he basically answered nonstop questions from the advisors because security and guaranteed lifetime income is the hot topic these days. And today, I want to share with you some of the things that he shared with this group of elite advisors, so stay with us. Now, if you aren't familiar with Dr. Wade Pfau, just look him up. His last name is spelled Pfau, and he has authored books like Safety First Retirement Planning, The Retirement Planning Guidebook, and Reverse Mortgages, How to Use Reverse Mortgages to Secure Your Retirement. If you want to watch any of the interviews that I've done with Wade in the past, just go to YouTube and type in Brad Pistole and Wade Pfau. Again, that's Pfau. And don't ever forget, if you would like to read a copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan, just give us a call anytime. Our number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You can also request a copy of my Safe Money Kit. Now, this kit contains a lot of information from Dr. Wade Pfau and from Dr. Michael Finke. They've both been guests on this show. These experts have done more research about guaranteed retirement income planning than anyone on the planet. And this information has changed the lives of millions of people all over the world. We will give you a copy of my book and my kit absolutely free. And we'll even show you how you can get up to a 15% cash value bonus added to your retirement account on the first day you move from risk to safety. You see, you don't have to put your money at risk. There are ways to protect your money, and there are ways to guarantee your lifetime income for you and your spouse. So call us anytime at 866-780-7233. Now, we're going to be back with critical retirement income planning information from Dr. Wade Pfau right after this break, so stay with us. And remember, you can call us anytime. There's someone standing by right now to take your call at 866-780-7233. Well, I must take a short break. This is Brad Pistole, and you're listening to Safe Money Radio. Let's pause for some exciting announcements.
Is there anything in the world you really desire?
I have a plan. What sort of plan? A plan that cannot possibly fail.
You're listening to Safe Money Radio. Business owners, some of you have worked 20 and even 30 years to build your business. You're ready to sell this asset and go into retirement. You don't want to risk or lose any of your hard-earned money. Property owners, have you just sold your property and need to turn that money into lifetime income? How about 401k participants? Have you recently changed jobs or reached age 59 and a half and have a retirement account that you don't want to expose to market loss? If you have money you're counting on for retirement, we can ensure that you sleep at night with our income and wealth preservation planning. Don't gamble your life's work away if you are nearing or in retirement. Take some chips off the table and do something to take the stress out of retirement. Call 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back. I'm Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I am a capital preservation and strategic income planning specialist working with clients right here in Springfield and Ozark, Missouri. In January of 2024, Dr. Wade Pfau, the founder of RetirementResearcher.com, was one of the keynote speakers at a conference in Denver, Colorado for 250 of the nation's top financial experts. His topic was retirement income strategies for today, and I was blessed to attend the conference, and I even introduced Dr. Pfau to the group. And today, I want to share some of his key points with you, so get ready. When speaking to the group of experts about retirement planning, Dr. Pfau started off by saying, retirement is different from what people are accustomed to when they're working. Risks change. Retirees must sustain their spending while managing unknown factors like how long they will live. They must also manage things like the sequence of returns risk and unexpected events that lead to increased spending. This could greatly reduce their liquidity if they're not prepared for these type of events. And then he went on to say, because of all these things, we need to approach retirement income differently than we have in the past. There are multiple viable approaches for retirement income, and the right approach for someone depends on their own personal style. He said that advisors need to be trained with a variety of tools that are designed to meet the various needs of the many different clients they serve. And then he went on to say something that can really ruffle the feathers of fee-based money managers. He used the A word. You know what the A word is, don't you? Now, when I say the word, please don't change the channel and don't stop the podcast. Remember, Dr. Wade Pfau has his PhD, and many of his friends have their PhDs, and they use the A word all the time. So listen closely. While talking about retirement income planning in the world of 2024 and beyond, Dr. Wade Pfau said, annuities now play an important role in multiple retirement income strategies. That's right. He did it. He used the A word, annuities. You know, that word that Ken Fisher spends millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to keep you to stay away from on all of his commercials? And have you ever thought about why he does all of this? It's because he wants your money in a brokerage account that will pay him thousands and thousands of dollars in fees for the lifetime of your account. Here's a quick question for you. Does Ken Fisher or Dave Ramsey or any other annuity naysayer have their PhD in economics? The answer is a big, fat no. They don't. They have personal financial motivations for telling you to never buy an annuity. And those motivations result in millions of dollars in their own back pockets. Friends, here are the facts. Over the years, I've had several financial powerhouses on this show. People like America's IRA expert and CPA from New York, Ed Slott. People like world-renowned economist Tom Hegna. People from the American College like Dr. Wade Pfau, Dr. Michael Finke, and Kevin Lynch. A newly retired professor from the American College who has 23 different financial designations, including his CFP, and he's a client of ours. And do you know what all of these people have in common? Two major things. And here's number one. They don't sell anything. They don't make a penny from selling any financial product. They don't care if you own stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, or purple elephants. Their primary goal involves educating consumers about the different avenues that are available to them to avoid paying unnecessary taxes and to make sure that their retirement income lasts the rest of their lives. And what's the second thing they have in common? Listen closely. They all own annuities, and they own a lot of them. And they used a financial expert who is trained in retirement income planning to help them structure their annuities to fit their specific income needs. Now, isn't that interesting? The smartest financial people on the planet, people who are CPAs, economists, college professors, and people with their PhDs in economics all own annuities as part of their retirement income plan, and they hire an expert to structure their annuities for them. Friends, this is exactly why I personally own 7 different annuities, and I have owned them since the financial crisis of 2008. I have a 15-year personal history in my own portfolio with annuities, and I've structured them for more than 1,500 clients all across the nation. I have clients who own annuities in Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Texas, Arizona, Tennessee, Florida, North Carolina, Michigan, Washington, and the list keeps growing every day. Now, why is this? It's because savvy investors are doing their homework and they are listening to the facts regarding retirement risks and contractual guarantees. And this is the fact. Retirees want guarantees, and the only place you can get a guarantee on your retirement income is from an insurance company. You see, you use insurance companies for all kinds of guarantees. You want to make sure your home is protected from a complete disaster, like a tornado or a flood. You want to make sure your car, your motorcycle, and your boat are protected from disasters like wrecks and thefts and storm damage. And you protect your life and your income with life insurance because it protects you from an unknown health hazard. And you use insurance companies to protect all of these different assets. So why in the world wouldn't you protect your number one largest asset, your retirement accounts? It's that many people don't do this because they simply don't know it's available to them. And that's why I've spent the past 15 years of my career teaching people all across the country exactly how to do that. I am a retirement income certified professional, a certified financial fiduciary, and a certified annuity specialist. And there's a reason why I was named one of Springfield Business Journal's Trusted Advisors of the Year in 2022. It's because I have made it my number one goal to make sure people in the Ozarks and people all across the United States know how to protect their life savings with accounts that are contractually guaranteed to never run out of income. Friends, if you would like to read a free copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan, Just call us anytime. Our number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You can also request a copy of my Safe Money Kit. Now, this kit contains a lot of information from Dr. Wade Pfau and Dr. Michael Finke, who have both been guests on this show. These experts have done more research about guaranteed retirement income planning than anyone on the planet. And this information has changed the lives of millions of people all over the world. I will give you a copy of my book and my kit absolutely free. And I'll even show you how you can get up to a 15% cash value bonus added to your retirement account on the first day you move from risk to safety. You do not have to put your retirement money at risk. There are ways to protect your money, and there are ways to guarantee your lifetime income for you and your spouse. So just call us anytime at 866-780-7233. We'll be back with critical retirement income planning information from Dr. Wade Pfau right after this break, so stay with us and know that you can call us anytime. There's always someone standing by to take your call at 866-780-7233. This is Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I'll be right back after this informative message.
Do you own an annuity? Do you understand what it does, how it works, and if it's right for your retirement plan? Some annuities have fees that might not be justified by their benefits. Some annuities are exposed to significant market risk. Worse yet, if an annuity was sold without proper planning, it can cause unintended consequences for your retirement. If you own an annuity, it's probably a good idea to find out more about how it works and if it's right for you. It's time to give Brad Pistole a call now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Brad will help you review the features and benefits of annuities you currently own without any obligation. Once again, you can call Brad now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Is your money sitting on the sidelines in a CD, savings account, or money market account, earning less than it could? If you have your money in a bank, the value of your money is getting destroyed by inflation. Don't let low interest rates get you down. How would you like tax-deferred growth higher than what banks offer? Why let a bank pay you less when you can currently get 3-year and 5-year fixed annuity interest rates of almost 6% tax-deferred? Some fixed annuity contracts even let you access as much as 10% of your account balance surrender penalty-free. Call us now for your short-term money solutions at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Fixed annuities are backed up by the claims-paying ability of the issuing life insurance company and are not FDIC insured. We have software to help you choose from hundreds of highly rated life insurance companies. Call us now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Now back to more Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back. I'm Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I am a capital preservation and strategic income planning specialist working with clients right here in Springfield and Ozark, Missouri. Friends, today we've been talking about recent retirement planning research that Dr. Wade Pfau shared with a group of financial experts at a conference in Denver, Colorado in January of 2024. Now, Dr. Wade Pfau is the founder of RetirementResearcher.com. He's a professor at the American College of Financial Services, and he's the author of 3 best-selling books about retirement income planning. Now, just listen to what Dr. Wade Pfau says about retirement planning. Without the relative stability provided by earnings from employment, retirees must find a way to convert their financial resources into a stream of income that will last the remainder of their lives. Two trends add to the difficulty of this task. First, people are living longer, and those retiring in their 60s must plan to support a longer period of spending. Second, traditional defined pensions are becoming less common. Pensions once guaranteed lifetime income by pooling risks across a collection of workers, but fewer employees have access to this today. Instead, employees and employers now contribute to various defined contribution accounts like 401ks, where the employee accepts longevity and investment risk and must make investment decisions on their own. 401k plans are not pensions in the traditional sense, as they shift the risks and responsibilities to the employees. If you've been saving and accumulating, the question remains, what should you do with your pot of assets upon reaching retirement? Essentially, if you wish to retire one day, you are increasingly responsible for figuring out how to save during your working years and convert your savings into sustainable income for an ever-lengthening number of retirement years. These are not easy tasks. Now remember, that information came from Dr. Wade Pfau, and then he goes on to say this: the standard of living for a retiree becomes more vulnerable to permanent harm because of financial market downturns. He also says that products like annuities and reverse mortgages often get a bad rap because so much of the financial planning world is focused on accumulation. And once a person retires, the shift needs to be made away from accumulation to preservation and lifetime distributions. He uses a brilliant analogy that involves climbing a mountain. This should help you better understand the difference between the years that you spend focusing on accumulating assets versus your retirement years, which will be spent distributing those assets. Listen to what Dr. Pfau says. The goal of climbing a mountain is not just to make it to the top. It is also necessary to get back down. But the skill set required to get down from a mountain is not the same as that which is needed to reach the summit. In fact, an experienced mountain climber knows that going back down is more treacherous and dangerous because climbers must deal with greater fatigue. They risk falling farther and with greater acceleration when facing a downslope than when facing an upslope. The way our bodies are designed makes going up easier than coming down. Now, friends, I can tell you this. Dr. Wade Pfau is 100% correct with this analogy. Going all the way back in time to 2006, I took a group of teenagers from my church to Colorado for an event called Wilderness Trek. Now, when I left for this trip, I was in the best shape of my life. I weighed about 160 pounds, and I was running 5 miles a day. I didn't have an ounce of fat on me. Now, during our week in Colorado, we faced the task of getting 20 different teenagers and adults up a 14,000-foot mountain to the summit. The mountain was called Mount Hope. And this experience was one of the most amazing experiences of my entire life, and I can tell you this from firsthand experience. I was a very inexperienced hiker. I spent all of my time preparing for the climb and not the descent. I spent months walking and hiking with a backpack on, and when we got to Colorado and started up the mountain, I was able to do things other people couldn't do. In fact, on more than one occasion, I took some of the weight off of the packs of those who were struggling and put it on my own pack. And boy, were people struggling. I watched many people break down physically and emotionally during the 3-day journey to the top. Several people didn't make it all the way to the summit. They simply couldn't handle it. Now, on the day of the summit, when we were near the top, a snowstorm started to come our way. I could see the clouds rolling in, and I knew there was a chance that we wouldn't make it to the top. But a small group of us did. I was one of the ones who made it to the top of the mountain. I signed my name in the book at the top of the 14,000-foot peak of Mount Hope. I sighed a big sigh of relief, felt an incredible sense of accomplishment, and then one of the greatest lessons of my life started. The leaders emphasized how important it was for us to start coming back down from the peak because a major snowstorm was on the way. We hurried our celebrations and started back down, and then it hit me. Brad, you never prepared for this descent. All of my training was on a machine with an incline. I didn't do any training that involved a decline. Even though I was in the best shape of my life, I started to struggle. The wind and the snow started, and my knees and my ankles started screaming, and I fell 2 or 3 times. Then several of the Wilderness Trek leaders had to pull me aside and explain the proper steps that I needed to take to get back down the mountain safely. They said very clearly, if you keep taking the steps you're currently taking, you're going to fall and you're going to hurt yourself. So I decided to listen to what they had to say. I had to walk and step and go through the entire descent down the mountain in a completely different way than I did on the way to the summit. So trust me on this. Dr. Pfau knows what he's talking about. Coming back down a mountain is much harder than climbing the mountain. And it's no different when it comes to your retirement income planning. You see, once you retire, you are no longer in an accumulation phase. You are no longer climbing the mountain to the top. You've already reached the top in one of your major goals, retirement. But the journey isn't over. This is where so many advisors and retirees fail to plan properly. They spend all of their time focusing on the accumulation phase, and they have little to no plan for the distribution phase. And remember, the distribution phase is often the longest and the hardest part. This phase could last 30 to 40 years of your life. This is exactly why you need a team of experts to help you on this journey. You need to be working with retirement income certified professionals. Both my son and I are retirement income certified professionals through the American College of Financial Services. We have been trained by people like Dr. Wade Pfau and Dr. Michael Finke. The team also includes people like Tom Hegna, America's IRA expert and CPA Ed Slott, and Social Security expert Heather Schreiber. Our team includes the nation's most foremost experts on retirement income planning. We can help you with the accumulation phase of life, but more importantly, we are experts in the distribution phase of life. So call us anytime at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Just ask for a copy of our free information and ask for a free financial consultation. We will make sure that you have the proper tools in place to get you safely back down the mountain. We will show you how to protect your assets and how to turn on a stream of income that you can never outlive. Our number again is 866-780-7233, and there's someone standing by right now to take your call. Since I have to take a break, now would be a great time to call me for a complimentary copy of my best-selling book, Bulletproof, The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. And I'll also give you a copy of my Safe Money Kit. My number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Isn't it time to stop exposing your retirement to market risk? You're listening to Safe Money Radio with Brad Pistole.
Is your money sitting on the sidelines in a CD, savings account, or money market account, earning less than it could? If you have your money in a bank, the value of your money is getting destroyed by inflation. Don't let low interest rates get you down. How would you like tax-deferred growth higher than what banks offer? Why let a bank pay you less when you can currently get 3-year and 5-year fixed annuity interest rates of almost 6% tax-deferred? Some fixed annuity contracts even let you access as much as 10% of your account balance surrender penalty-free. Call us now for your short-term money solutions at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Fixed annuities are backed up by the claims-paying ability of the issuing life insurance company and are not FDIC insured. We have software to help you choose from hundreds of highly rated life insurance companies. Call us now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back to Safe Money Radio. I'm Brad Pistole, a certified financial fiduciary and a safe money retirement specialist. Hi, this is Brad Pistol, a retirement income certified professional and your host of Safe Money Radio, keeping you up to date with the latest and greatest financial facts regarding your retirement accounts right here in the Ozarks. Now, as we get started today, I'm reminded of my least favorite time of the year, tax time. Don't you just love taxes? Yeah, me neither. I think you probably feel like America's IRA expert Ed Slott when he says, hey, I'm okay with paying my fair share of taxes. I just don't want to pay 1 penny more than I'm obligated to pay. Would you agree with that statement? I know I certainly do. Hey, I don't mind paying taxes. We get to benefit from some pretty incredible things in this country because of the taxes we pay. But there are definitely a lot of people who pay taxes on things they should never pay. And that's because either they don't know or their CPA doesn't know the different options that are available to them to keep them from paying those taxes. And trust me on this, there's an age-old saying that is completely false. The saying is, ignorance is bliss. I can assure you, ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is painful. Ignorance is destructive. Ignorance can lead to several things like failing grades, poor nutrition, poor health, poor relationships, and bankruptcy. And when it comes to your retirement accounts and taxes, ignorance can lead to a failed retirement income plan. So when it comes to tax planning and keeping your money safe, you definitely want to know things that other people do not know. So stay with us today. Have you ever been told by your CPA or your tax professional that you need to make an IRA contribution for the current year to lower your tax burden? Of course you have. Every one of us has been told this. But keep in mind, most CPAs are not forward thinking. They think about the past. They think about the year that just took place, and they know this. Their clients are not going to be happy if they get a tax bill at the end of the year. So their entire purpose, for the most part, is to keep you from owing taxes when April 15th rolls around. Now, friends, in my opinion, that is not forward-thinking, creative tax planning. That's just trying to keep them out of hot water so they don't get fired by you. But that does not mean that's what's in your best interest. Let me give you an example of how confusing this can be. When your CPA or tax professional says, hey, you need to make a tax-deductible IRA contribution this year to lower your tax burden, do you think or have you ever been fooled into thinking that when you make that contribution, you saved taxes? For instance, in 2023, if you make a $6,500 IRA contribution or a $7,500 contribution if you're above the age of 50, do you think you saved taxes because you made this contribution? You see, most people do. However, it didn't save you any taxes. Let me repeat. When you make a tax-deductible contribution to an IRA or a 401k, it does not save you any taxes. It postpones them. You see, friends, when you make a tax-deductible contribution to an IRA, you are telling Uncle Sam, hey, I am unwilling to pay my tax burden for this year, so I'm going to make a contribution into my IRA or 401k, lowering my taxable income amount for this year. And by doing so, I'm making a binding contractual agreement with you, Uncle Sam, to pay this tax back to you at some point in the future. This will be when I take distributions from the account or whenever you tell me I have to start taking distributions from the account, and I agree to pay whatever tax rate you tell me I owe you at that time. Here's what most people fail to understand. First of all, they think they saved the taxes when they didn't. They postponed them. And the second thing is, they don't realize that in the future, Uncle Sam will not forget about the agreement that you've made with him. He will be standing there with his hands wide open, and he will be saying, hey, remember me? Remember when you made those tax-deductible contributions to your IRA or 401k, and you did that for 10 or 15 or 20 or even 30 years in a row while you were working? Well, now it's time for you to pay me back, and you're going to pay me back when I say, at whatever rate I say. Now, friends, many of us have been fooled into thinking that when we're in retirement, we will be in a lower tax bracket, and that it's way better to go ahead and make the tax-deductible contribution now and defer or postpone those taxes because we'll be in a much lower tax bracket later. We'll talk more about this in the next segment because that's not true most of the time. Most of us have been trained to think by our tax professionals that it is better to take a tax deduction now and postpone it to the future. I completely disagree, and here's why. Because at the time of this recording, we are in all-time historically low tax brackets. So why would we think that our tax brackets will be lower in the future when Uncle Sam forces us to take these distributions, especially when our country is $31.5 trillion in debt? Friends, this is why you need to be working with a retirement income certified professional, someone who deals with creative tax planning on a daily basis. You see, I was blessed to meet America's IRA expert Ed Slott back in 2009, and I've been training under him ever since. Ed is a great friend of mine, and he even wrote the foreword to my most recent best-selling book, Bulletproof: The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan. In this book, I will teach you how to keep your money safe from the fluctuation of the stock market, and I will show you how to keep from paying unnecessary taxes to Uncle Sam. We want you to pay taxes at the lowest rate possible so that you keep more in your own pocket, giving you the retirement of your dreams. If you would like to read a copy of Bulletproof: The Safe and Secure Retirement Income Plan, just give us a call at any time. Our toll-free number is 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. This is Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I'll be right back after this informative message.
What if you could get almost 6% interest guaranteed for 3 or 5 years? That's way more than banks are currently offering. Don't let your retirement savings get less than the best guaranteed return. Call us now for your short-term money solutions at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Some fixed annuity contracts even let you access as much as 10% of your annuity balance surrender penalty free. Once again, you can call us at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Fixed annuities are backed up by the claims-paying ability of the issuing life insurance company and are not FDIC insured. We have software to help you choose from hundreds of highly rated life insurance companies. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole.
Welcome back. I'm Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I am a capital preservation and strategic income planning specialist working with clients right here in Springfield and Ozark, Missouri. Now, friends, before the break, we were talking about something that makes most of us sick to our stomach: paying taxes. No one likes to talk about taxes. Hey, I'll tell you a little secret. Most CPAs don't even like to talk about them. They act like they do because they have to, but they don't. No one likes to talk about taxes. My least favorite time of the year for many reasons is February and March. You see, I have a very complicated tax situation. I represent multiple companies, which means I get 1099s from more than 15 different companies. And I own 3 farms and multiple amounts of real estate. I'm in the highest tax bracket. That means my number one burden every single year is taxes. I'm constantly fighting with Uncle Sam to figure out what percentage of my hard-earned money must be given to him. Now, I don't mind paying my fair share of taxes, but I always want to make sure I keep every single penny of my hard-earned money in my own pocket instead of giving it to Uncle Sam. You see, I'm involved in 4 different charities, and I would much rather bless them with donations instead of giving it to Uncle Sam, because I can assure you of this: Uncle Sam will use your money in ways that you have no control over and for things you probably don't believe in. I'm sure you feel the same way. Even if you're one of the most giving, charitable people on the planet, you probably don't want to give your money to the tax man. So today we're talking about ways to make sure you're maximizing your income and lowering your tax burden. We've been talking specifically about the trap that many people fall into when they're told by their CPA or their financial professional that they need to make a tax-deductible contribution to an IRA or a 401k to lower their tax burden for the current year. Now, most of us do this because our financial professional or CPA told us to, but we also do it because we don't want that tax bill on April the 15th. How many of you have had your tax professional say something like this? Wouldn't you rather make a contribution to your own retirement account instead of writing a check to Uncle Sam? Hey, I get that, and I understand that. But the key here is making sure that you know things that other people don't know. Remember, most people don't realize that when you make a tax-deductible contribution to any type of retirement account, like a 401k or an IRA, that you didn't save any tax. You postponed it. You kicked the tax can on down the road. And every single year, that money sits inside that tax can, and the taxes compound and get bigger and bigger and bigger. When you make a tax-deductible contribution to a retirement account, you're making an agreement with Uncle Sam, and you're saying, I am not willing to pay the tax today, so I'm going to put this into a tax-deductible account. Now, tax-deductible really means tax-deferred. The taxes are deferred until a future date, when you or your heirs will have to take the money out and pay the taxes that will be due according to Uncle Sam's rules. And that means that you will have to pay whatever tax rate he says, and you will have to pay it at that time. And here's the worst part about making this type of deal with Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is the casino owner. He always wins. Don't ever be fooled into thinking that when you make a tax-deductible IRA contribution that you saved that tax. You simply did not. You just deferred it to the future. And here's the big question. Should you or should you not make a tax-deductible contribution to defer your tax for right now? Well, the ultimate question is, in order to answer that, will you be in a lower bracket in the future than you are right now? And here's the honest answer. Who on this planet knows what tax bracket they're going to be in the future? Do you know? I can assure you, no matter how good you are at tax planning and no matter how much you study the economy, you do not know what your tax bracket is going to be in the future. No one does. Why? Because we do not control what Congress and Uncle Sam are going to do with the tax brackets. He constantly changes the rules, and he constantly moves the goalpost. Ed Slott, America's IRA expert, often says, when Congress meets, you can be assured of one thing. There will be changes. They are constantly moving the goalpost and changing the rules. So make sure before you ever make a tax-deductible contribution that you fully understand what this means. It means you won't be saving any taxes. You're taking a gamble and deferring those taxes to a future date, hoping you will owe less in taxes in the future. And you will be paying those taxes at a time in the future when our country will owe more on the national debt than we do right now. I can assure you of that. Now, in our next segment, we're going to be talking about future tax brackets and how they're determined, especially when you've made tax-deductible contributions to an IRA or a 401k. Because remember, most of the time when you do that, you're going to be taking that money back out when you're retired and when you think you're going to be in a lower tax bracket. Hang on to your hats, because when you do that, you'll also be receiving Social Security income and probably the Social Security income for your spouse. And you will probably be taking distributions from a tax-deferred retirement account, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, all of which create additional tax burdens in retirement. So stay with us because this is really important to your retirement future. If you would like to learn more about tax planning, about how to keep your money safe, just call us anytime at 866-780-7233. This is Brad Pistole, your host of Safe Money Radio. I'll be right back after this informative message.
Is your money sitting on the sidelines in a CD, savings account, or money market account, earning less than it could? If you have your money in a bank, the value of your money is getting destroyed by inflation. Don't let low interest rates get you down. How would you like tax-deferred growth higher than what banks offer? Why let a bank pay you less when you can currently get 3-year and 5-year fixed annuity interest rates of almost 6% tax-deferred? Some fixed annuity contracts even let you access as much as 10% of your account balance surrender penalty-free. Call us now for your short-term money solutions at 866 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. Fixed annuities are backed up by the claims-paying ability of the issuing life insurance company and are not FDIC insured. We have software to help you choose from hundreds of highly rated life insurance companies. Call us now at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233. You're listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistol.
Thank you for tuning in to Safe Money Radio. I am Brad Pistol, a market risk mitigation specialist helping clients with retirement money preservation and income planning. Now, on today's show, we've been talking about the lovely topic of taxes, something that none of us like to talk about. We don't enjoy it, but we absolutely must plan for taxes. Because here's the thing, we deal with taxes every single day of our lives. Did you stop and get gasoline this morning? You paid a tax. Did you stop and buy something at a drive-thru? You paid a tax. Did you go to Walmart or the grocery store? You surely paid a tax. Have you recently purchased a new vehicle? You're about to pay taxes. Have you bought a new home? You're going to pay taxes. Have you sold a home? You're going to pay taxes. Do you have earned income? You're going to pay federal and state taxes on that income. You see, taxes are a part of almost every single financial transaction we make. So it's critically important to learn and know things that other people simply do not know. If you know things that other people don't know, I can assure you, you're going to pay your fair share of taxes, but not one single penny more than you're supposed to. And I think that should be everyone's goal. Today, we've been talking about one of the tax traps that many people often fall into, and that's the trap of making ongoing tax-deductible contributions to a tax-deferred retirement account like an IRA or a 401k. It's so easy to fall into this trap, especially when a CPA or financial professional tells you that you need to make a tax-deductible contribution to an IRA or tax-deferred account in order to lower your tax burden for the year. Many of us are fooled into thinking that we have saved that tax when we make that contribution, but we didn't save any tax. We deferred the tax to a future date. We're going to have to pay that tax at some point. So the big question is, will you be in a lower tax bracket in the future? You see, most people think they will be in a lower bracket because they've been told they will be. Why? Because they're not going to be earning income anymore. So surely their brackets are going to drop, right? This is why you need to be talking to a retirement income certified professional who does tax and income planning for you, because here are the facts. In most cases, people in this country save for their retirement by contributing to a tax-deferred plan, something like a 401k or an IRA or a 403b or a TSP or a 457 plan. There are a lot of different combinations of tax-deferred accounts and retirement plans depending upon what type of job you have and what industry you work in. But here's the one thing all of these plans have in common. You've been saving your money in a tax-deferred account, and that means you've been kicking the tax can down the road all that time, saving your money in something that Uncle Sam is a partner in. And sometimes, and often many times, he is the majority owner of that account. You want him to be a minority owner in your retirement accounts, but if you don't plan correctly, he will be the majority owner of your retirement accounts. If you don't believe me, just spend 30 minutes studying the history of taxes from 1913 to present. Tax brackets could go to 50, 60, or 70% in the future. Don't believe me? You owe it to yourself to take a look at the history of taxes in our great country. They've been at 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, and even as high as 94% in our history's past. I'm not making this up, friends. Look it up. The year my father was born, 1944, the highest federal tax rate was 94%. And here's the most important part of this show, so listen closely. Uncle Sam gets to decide what those tax brackets are going to be each year, and he gets to decide when he's going to move the goalpost. You see, when you retire, you normally take your retirement income from tax-deferred sources like a pension or a 401k or an IRA. So in other words, it's just like you're still making earned income from a job or a salary because that money has never been taxed. And when you add that taxable income in on top of your Social Security income, and if you're married, on top of their Social Security income and the distributions from their 401k or tax-deferred plan, you have one great, big, giant tax mess. Trust me on this. Even though your CPA or financial planner didn't ever tell you this, what you have done is build up a giant tax-infested retirement income plan for Uncle Sam, and he loves it. Why? Because not only is your tax-deferred income going to get taxed, in most cases your Social Security income will get taxed because of the income thresholds and the earnings limits. And it can affect things like your Medicare premium and something known as IRMA, IRMMA, which stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amounts. These are things we spend a lot of time talking to our clients about, and you can watch our videos about them on YouTube. Just look up Safe Money Radio with Brad Pistole. Friends, be very, very careful before you ever make a tax-deferred contribution to a retirement account just because a financial professional tells you that you need to in order to lower your taxes. You need to be forward-thinking. You need to ask yourself, should I defer these taxes to the future when it could affect my Social Security taxation, my Medicare premiums, and of course, the future tax burden of all of my heirs? Because remember, someone will inherit your tax-deferred accounts at some point in the future, and distributions from those accounts will be fully taxable to them on top of their earned income. This is what we do for our clients. We help them keep their money safe and protected from unnecessary taxation, and we help them remember this very important fact regarding retirement income planning. It's not what you make, it's what you keep that counts. Once you pay a tax, that money is gone forever. Make sure the planning that you're doing today will keep the biggest amount of money in your pocket in the future, not just for you, but also for your spouse and your children and your grandchildren. No one wants to pass on a tax burden to their heirs. If you would like to learn more today, just call us anytime at 866-780-7233. That's 866-780-SAFE. Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to Safe Money Radio. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulation while reducing exposure to market losses. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Brad Pistole, reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
You've been listening to Safe Money Radio with your host, Brad Pistole. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your hard-earned money is safe while avoiding market loss so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call Brad Pistole now for your complimentary Safe Money book and Safe Money information kit at 866-780-SAFE. That's 866-780-7233.
Safe Money Radio, your money safe and sound.
The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Surrender charges apply to base contracts. Optional lifetime income benefit riders are used to calculate lifetime payments only and are not available for cash surrender or in a death benefit unless specified in the annuity contract. Fees may apply. Guarantees are based on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the insurance company. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified and licensed professional. Obviously, by calling us now, you are just taking the first step towards protecting your retirement. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Rates and returns mentioned on this program are subject to change without notice.